All right, folks, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting this Wednesday. I'm living in the past there. This Wednesday, January 5th. Great to see all of us live inside the Cyber Group room, Norman, Mark, Grant included, as well as everybody else joining us right now. Great to see you all. And if you're joining us once again back on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as well. Give me a quick sec. I got some issue here happening with the trading room. Some issue happening here with the audio. Give me a quick second, folks. Looks better now from Brian. Good now, good now. I don't know, maybe a glitch. I didn't touch a single thing. So pretty odd there. But it looks like we're loud and clear now from Chuck and Will and Charles and Deborah. Better now. I didn't touch a thing, I swear. Pretty funky. Nonetheless, though, folks, we got to rip through this meeting pretty quick. We're continuing on with the Phase 3 stock course later on today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So with that said, let's just go right from top to bottom here. BTCS, and hopefully the audio doesn't drop off as we go, but BTCS, nonetheless, hey, it's pulling back down now. This stock we were, pretty much following once the market had opened up. We didn't follow this within the Phase 3 stock course itself. Ended up making a nice pop off of $4 though, and that's when it was first called out, at least inside the Cyber Group room. Nonetheless, ended up pushing up beautifully at the time, all the way up towards just about 5. A false breakout from there. And then from there came back down. Now, this stock, of all things, interestingly enough, is shortable. The stock is easy to borrow. And with that, it was following this trend line off the highs pretty well, essentially filling in sideways, a bit of a wedge or pennant pattern across the day. Well, I was calling this out as a possible short before this meeting started if the 445 yellow line could hold, and that was prior to 2 p.m. So once it made a false breakout here, I was thinking, folks, this could be a good short because if it's not going to break higher and really run, then I'd like to think there's only one other way it's going to go. So I ended up jumping in right from there. That was actually my first trade from the morning class, believe it or not. Very flat market across the day, pretty ugly. So nonetheless, I ended up taking a scratch trade, a -1 technically. And well, once it's popping above 450, if it's not going to make that big move down, you know what? Maybe there is a chance for a run up. So I was playing this on the side as a short at first, then as a long. I picked up 12 cents on the long. But now at this point, pulling back down. And with the market dropping off after the Fed minutes meeting just finished up, and with Bitcoin dropping off, I say Bitcoin in particular because this is a Bitcoin related stock. We've never traded this one before, believe it or not. So, pretty interesting. I ended up copying and pasting at least a brief company description inside the live trading room here. That's not the exact news as to why the stock popped, but it's just to say this company, BTCS, they end up doing all sorts of online e-commerce business where consumers can purchase merchandise using digital assets, including Bitcoin. So, just with that in the headline, this could be a nice blockchain or Bitcoin mining affiliated stock to work with just going forward. For this afternoon in particular, just given the activity and the fact that this stock is easy to borrow, if this ends up re-breaking below 445, perhaps this could be a really good short. So, you know what? I don't mind. We'll put this on our watch list to begin. All right, so we'll see if we can keep it going. LIXT, no surprise. What happened here? I mean, we saw this inside the Phase 3 stock course earlier. Didn't trade it with good reason, but hey, we knew what was going to happen on this stock, folks, right? I mean, we saw the beginning of the breakdown from the 250 level here, ended up dropping off quite a bit and just got ugly, flattened out. Nothing really happening right now in this trade. All right, so we'll keep it going. Otherwise, BTCS, obviously, we started off with. That's number 3 still on the gainers list. CNSP, too flat right now. Nice pop across the early afternoon. If it ends up making a bit of a higher low and a pop back up as we go through this meeting, then, then maybe, but we'll keep it going here otherwise. MYNZ, flat, not much happening here. DTST, we did trade this one in the morning class. We did all right. Could have had a better entry. Could have had a better exit. I actually incorrectly hit close here. I thought I hit close on my exit. I clicked under it. I clicked it again pretty quickly after, and I ended up sacrificing 5 cents worth of profit. Ended up making, I think it was like 8 or 9 cents on this. Again, though, it failed to even test 5, let alone pop above it. And hey, if there's no buying interest off of that level, then how can we expect the stock to even have a chance of continuing, right? So right back down. All right, we keep it going. EVTL popped going into the mid morning. I think I called this out after we finished up the morning class, but yeah, volume died off quick. CLST, this looks like a buyout. I don't care to check. It's not going to move. So load, same thing. We're just going to skip this. Kind of skim through right now, folks. And I saw Kevin's call out inside the cyber group room just earlier saying the IMMX trade is popping. That happened about 4 minutes ago. He called that out. And Chuck right now, of course, saying the same thing. So yeah, the way this looks right now for the afternoon, how could we not, right? Now, at the same time, though, this thing is just all over the place from the last 2 days. We had some huge big print levels at 727, 750. Coming up top, folks, that next yellow line above at 783. That was a relatively big print level from yesterday or from Monday's trading. So hey, we'll see if this one can keep going, breaking all-time highs or trying to at least again. And yeah, the IMMX, great call. All right, so I turned away from DTST, and then like 2 seconds later, Ari wrote in the chat board, "It's popping." I don't know. Let's see. Nah, this ain't no pop. There's no pop here. Hey, if it ends up, showing more signs of life off of 4, maybe, but this is garbage right now. This is just dead. It's not worth it. This whole afternoon, late morning, early afternoon's been slow and flat. Why do you want to follow this, right? I want to follow a stock that's near the highs, at the highs, or market's dropping, so there might be some good shorts to work with heading into the afternoon, right? So we'll check in on Riot, we'll check in on Mara, those blockchain or Bitcoin related stocks. That's all. EBON is actually a Chinese Bitcoin mining affiliated stock, but I haven't traded them since China cracked down on Bitcoin like months ago. I just remember the ticker. Interesting that they're on the gainers list today, but nothing right home about there so far. SENS, same thing. It held under 3. I made the call out off resistance. Unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere. This is breaking high of the day. Doesn't look like it. But CELZ is actually breaking the regular session high of the day right now. It had a lot of activity in pre-market this morning as it actually moved up higher from where it closed yesterday. So I had this on my side list this morning, and just there was no room to work with in terms of a long. The stock was trending down leading into the open. As soon as the market opened up, it completely broke down further. But for right now, hey, this looks pretty interesting here. The only issue is that the volume's just pretty much dropped off since 2:30, since we started this meeting. So it may have lost some momentum here. We'll see if this can keep going. And I'm just realizing this now, I guess. CELZ is shortable also on my platform here today. But for right now, we're following the stock more so, with this trend up. All right, let's see what else is out there. CLF up big today, up 6+%. ZEV, I saw this earlier, is inching up before but dumped off. Listen, markets are down, so you got the ETFs like SQQQ, inverse Q ETF right there, follows the Nasdaq 100 inversely. With that, you have semiconductor bearish ETF semiconductor bearish ETF. This is SOXS. So it's stocks like AMD and Micron likely at the lows. That is moving up. We're not going to trade the ETFs too much though, folks. Hey, if you do well on them, then you know what they are: UVXY, VIX, the SOXS perhaps. But again, you really can't use level 3 and order flow to follow those stocks. So unless you got something else up your sleeve, it's more of a gamble. All right, so let's see what else is out there. Otherwise, needless to be said, not a whole lot left on the gainer side for right now with the market dropping off. So, let's hop over to the losers list here right now. We got GoCo, at least shortable, down big. Sheesh, this thing getting beat up here. Actually, I don't know if there's at all-time lows right now as well. If so, then this could be a pretty interesting trade without there being any historical support. Hey, GoCo, put this on our watch list here. All right, cool. Everything else, though, is hard to borrow. INFI, a little close to ground floor. AMBA, too expensive. I mean, hey, I like the way AMD looked when I slipped it up on the screen here just a moment ago, but that obviously is pretty expensive as well, right? So, I'm sure we're going to find a bunch of stocks dropping off, folks, like the airlines and cruise lines and, entertainment casino stocks maybe. Here's Mavis, as we nickname Microvision. It's at the lows at support at 5, down big. So like the GoCo trade, I'm going to kind of group those together just as a possible short to work with into the afternoon. Check out the side list stocks right now. American Airlines dropped off at 1 o'clock. I guess spiked up, but now pulling back down again. Nothing too particular to write home about on American. CCL's at the lows. It's only down 1+%. And CLH, I'm sure that they're all moving the same, RCL, Royal, and look at some casino stocks like MGM. I mean, down, but not really too much going on. Otherwise, that would make me want to focus on these stocks compared to something else otherwise. So, hey, if there's anything that's down big, that's dropping off pretty steadily, definitely let me know. NEO, at least I like this afternoon drop off more than anything, right? This is a sharper downtrend. It's not down more than 5%, but, we're familiar with this stock at least here. This could be on our watch list, perhaps at the end of it all. I'll kind of cherry pick some of the better movers on the way down so far. This seems to be one of them. Ooh, Palantir looks good. Ooh, I like this one more. Palantir at the lows, down over that 5%. Lewis, I know that you're a fan of Palantir, so probably not a fan of seeing this move. But for right now, we're going to put this on our watch list, see if this can make a drop lower down towards 17 perhaps. I guess Lewis is a fan. Well, long term, right? So perhaps you're loading up, buying a little bit here for a long term play. Path, down big, down over that 5% at the lows. So definitely a good one to keep in mind as a short. It's also at all time lows here, too, interestingly enough. It's more of a level 3 to even a level 4 stock. I'll put it on our watch list because it looks good, but I have to say that though at first. If you're not a level 3 trader and above, if you don't feel that you're a level 3 trader and above inside our live trading room, then I would much rather you follow GoCo, MVIS, PLTR, BTCS, almost anything on our watch list aside from this. So, hey, we're going to keep this on our list. It's a good call, but I would say only a certain percentage of us inside the trading room should be following this one more. SFT, kind of same line of thinking as, what was it, the GoCo? Yeah, kind of same line of thinking as GoCo. Both below $5, shortable, and right at historical and all-time low support here, it seems like. So SFT, down big, kind of the same support showing roughly as the GoCo. Interesting. Why not? Are we going to trade all of these folks? No. But with the way each of these looks so far, I'd rather focus on these to begin. Now, I want to find something maybe not as inexpensive on the way down. Looking at a stock like Fubo from our good friend Mitch Connor on YouTube, rejoining us here. Hey, down over 10% at the lows, and it's one that we're pretty familiar with, right? So this one, I feel like we have to add as well, Fubo. Now, at this point, folks, if we keep going through and finding all these stocks that we've traded in the past, BBBY, Space, AMC, you name it. We're going to build up a traditional 50 stock watch list. We can't do that. So, hey, Ford from Charles B, dropping off pretty steadily, right? Out of everything so far, this one's not at the lows, right? It's not down more than that 5%. So based off of that, I'm not going to put this on the main list. If you personally do well on Ford, then you know who you are. That's all. And then I would expect you to be following this type of trade then. From Lewis Laser, but please don't sell it too much. Down over 7%, Lewis, and $16 stock. I don't know, man. You picked a good one as far as a potential short. I mean, hey, we are familiar with Laser too, right? There's a lot of stocks, folks, that we could easily load up and put on our watch list here. I feel like I'll add Laser to that list. Needless to be said, let's get to some Bitcoin right now really briefly, because with the market dropping off, heading into the Fed minutes meeting, and then it plunged pretty much after, well, Bitcoin only continued to follow. So it's nothing specific with Bitcoin, no news out there otherwise, but just continuing to drop off. Really, the only thing to talk about here is just the fact that, I show the hourly, the 6-hour chart, and maybe like the daily, weekly at times if I need to. But on the hourly, just what a perfect hold off the 200 here. Like, are you kidding me? So, in terms of major resistance, we have had our eyes on these three moving averages for a long while. I show them on these charts, but the 200 for the last week and a half, I've been saying this has just been super strong. And as we're talking in the moment, we're getting a further drop. Let's actually jump to a 1 minute chart. I don't show the 1 minute too often, really, because we're kind of focused more on these like swing plays and generally where we could track Bitcoin on a week to week basis. So it's not like day trading really with Bitcoin that we're doing. But looking at the 1 minute chart, that is a fat drop. That is a fat drop right there. So we're getting pretty close. It's my Larry David impersonation there, to the support level I was insinuating back from like here when this first crashed and dropped and shook back up. I ended up buying a little bit just over 47,000. Haven't bought since. I ended up doing some altcoin plays in between, like Phantom FTM, which I told you about from Friday last week and Monday. I'll bring that up just going into Friday. Little cut for time right now. Still in it, still very bullish on it and all that. But just to say, with Bitcoin itself, I was looking for this to eventually drop down towards 44,000 or 44.5. So I feel like this could be a pretty interesting buying opportunity coming up. Don't leave an order on the bid just waiting to get hit, because that's the definition of catching the falling knife. But, monitor this over the next 24 to 48 hours. Perhaps it could be a bigger drop than that. But otherwise, though, I was pretty confident about seeing 44 as a potential support. So TikTok, we're right here, folks. We're getting pretty darn close. So I'll let you know what happens here over the next day or two in terms of if I end up loading up more on Bitcoin from that price. All right, so with that, Riot dropping. With that, Mara dropping. Everything else dropping off. I'm going to slip Riot and Mara both on our watch list, just given we're pretty familiar with them both. I'm sure I could add maybe the F cell. All right, TZAs and ETF. We're going to pass on that. Way that you could tell is where it says bearish. Bear 3x. If you're already in, kudos. But I'm just not going to follow the stock, though. CNSP moving back up to 120, says Norman. Oh, man, really? I mean, hey, not everything's dropping off, is it? All right, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got 12 stocks on our watch list, folks, already. I have to add the CNSP now at this point, just given this move up. Listen, we're going to put this on our watch list for right now. From this point forward, after we finish this meeting, if this ends up pulling right back down, don't even think about it. Just move on from it. From this point, if this doesn't begin to show more signs of life, this comes right back down below 120. Dunzo. We're not going to trade it. All right. So for right now, we'll slip this on our list. It's actually beginning to make that pullback as we speak. Maybe I just keep doing a little filibuster here, and we'll eventually see what happens. How about that? No, but you know what? Actually, in the meantime, as we kind of wait on this gives me a good chance to do a quick sign off for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube. As always, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. Of course, Fausto's back in the saddle, at least in the mornings. So I know that he did the morning meeting for you folks this morning. He'll continue to do that across this week. If you have any questions, though, feel more than free to send over a quick email right to my email address, josh@c2trading.com. Otherwise, if you wanted to join us in our live trading room, that is with Ari and Norman and Patrick and Lewis and Grant, etc., Chuck, you could just go right down to the link on the banner below the stream. Again, for all of us on social media today, just to sign up. But for all of us otherwise there right now, I know that most of you folks will actually be joining me in the Phase 3 stock course. So we still have the Phase 3 course lined up today, folks, and I'll be trading these picks going into the market close right in front of you. I look forward to it. And with that in mind, I'm just going to copy and paste the picks here and get things started. All right, folks, I'll talk to everybody coming up. Take care.